Hello, everyone. I'm so happy to be with you, Reverend Keith, and everyone who's here with us. I feel like singing you a classic, Eddie Watkins. There is a garden where dreams come true, a beautiful garden where God's grace blooms. There is a garden where everything grows, a beautiful garden where love is sown. And in this place of light and love, you can have anything that you're dreaming of. 'Cause there is a garden where dreams come true, a beautiful garden. That garden is you. There is a garden where dreams come true, a beautiful garden where God's grace blooms. There is a garden where everything grows, a beautiful garden where love is sown. And in this place light and love, you could have anything that you're dreaming of. There is a garden where dreams come true, beautiful garden. Guess what? That garden is you. Such a beautiful garden, the garden, the garden, the garden is you. Growing up in the garden, the garden, the garden, the garden is you.
And that garden is you too. Hi, Amy.
Hi.
The stepping away from the pulpit, Reverend Amy Steinberg.
Yeah.
How are you?
I'm fabulous. I'm so glad to be with you.
I'm so happy. I've been looking
I've been
forward to
excited
this.
about it all.
I know, me too. And that it's not lost on me that there's a garden behind you of flora and butterflies as well. So
Always.
always, right.
Tchotchkes.
A beautiful garden. I love that, the Eddie Watkins song, that and the garden is you, meaning that we are that which is in the transformative state of what's in the garden, right? And on top of the garden, and the butterflies and the rain and the soil and all of it.
And now in summer, everything's just in full bloom. So it's so nice, So nice.
Yeah, I on my walk this morning, I take different routes, but I'm staying tuned into on the different routes, the different flowers and fauna that I see. It's not like I see corn or squash or zucchini growing, right? But I only see flowers. But it's been really kind of fun to stay tuned into that, right? And the transformation of, one flower that's, has reached its blossom and bloom and disintegrating, then another one comes in a different location. So it's just really
And
the
you
nature of
guys
it.
have that amazing flower that only blooms at night, right? The night blooming thing, which I think is so interesting. Usually you think of things blooming in the day, right?
Yes. But I'm going to go with
So
yes. I've seen many things bloom at
I
night.
can't remember what
So
it is. It's a gorgeous Los Angeles flower. Maybe somebody in the comments will say
maybe something
something.
in the comment.
Yeah.
Well,
All
I'm
right.
happy
I'll
you're
go
here.
away.
And that's okay. We're going to have a fun day. Like the whole day is all about having fun and enjoy each other, experiencing the freedom of spirit. So I'll see you
I
in a
love
bit.
it. Okay.
Yes. Good morning and hello, everyone. I say good morning in the sense that I believe that you are joining us from morning, because where I am, it's morning, but wherever you are, it's the perfect and right place and time to do and be exactly who and what you know yourself to be, which is a beautiful garden, I believe we've just learned. I'm Reverend Dr. Keith Cox, and I'm the spiritual leader here at the Center for Spiritual Living, Los Angeles. We come together in our virtual space to remember who we are as divine beings, imbued with the power and the presence of the essence of the energy of creation. And so today I invite you, wherever you may be on this day, the 5th of July, if you're joining us live in the year 2026, to relax and settle in and open your mind and open your heart and open your soul to receive a seed being planted in your psyche and soul of a remembrance of the perfection and the wholeness and the completeness that exists by means of you and by means of me, just as you are. The vision statement for our community is supporting individuals finding their personal self-empowerment through a spiritual awakening. It's that which we encourage us all to be open to today. And so I'm going to put on the screen our opening slides as we move through our time-space continuum that we're sharing together. And I know it's the perfection for each of us, and we're ready for it. And so here we go. And of course, why did it do that? Because I have to do this. There we go. I love the continuity and the theme of the butterflies that are continuing to show up on the screen, and to just remember as a community who we are as divine beings. We come together and move into an act of namaste to kick off our services together, whether in person or whether we're doing that through the virtual setting. And I invite you to, if it's safe for you, to look at this beloved being of energy and light on the screen with their hands in prayer position, saying namaste, honoring the pureness and the origin of the word. It's a Sanskrit word, and it means I bow to thee. Today I invite us all to open to that as we place our hands together in prayer position, bringing them down to our heart chakra. It's taking a deep breath in. And as we exhale, just letting go of anything that might be a barrier to our opening ourselves up today. Taking another deep breath in. And as we exhale and bend forward, say together, Namaste. I bow to thee. And in its most modern incarnation, as we rise back up, the God, the power, the thing in me that is life, honors and acknowledges that within you and receives it in return. As a community, we teach primarily the philosophy, faith, and way of life known as the science of mind and other New Thought teachings. One of the things that drew me to this teaching was the core statement of change your thinking, change your life. But to build upon that is to look at life through the lens that there's only one power in the universe at that universal level. It's cosmic by nature for sure. It's creative by nature for sure. It's infinite and intimate by nature as well. And that you and I individualize that, and in our philosophy, faith, and way of life, we call it God. We practice affirming that through our mind and through our voice. Because we're all connected at that level of mind, and we're thinking beings, the way that we think and believe and act and react and interact with the very thing itself matters, because mind then shows up in form, experiences in our lives reflective of who we know ourselves to be. Now that in and of itself is a very empowering concept and spiritual truth, as well as can also be debilitating and overwhelming at times. And I invite us today to be open to it being both, for the purpose of engaging in living out our vision statement, supporting individuals finding their personal self-empowerment through a spiritual awakening. Finding personal self-empowerment through a spiritual awakening. That in and of itself is a journey, and it's the journey that I invite us all to tune into in a new way today, as we open our mind and open our arms to welcome all races, all religions, all countries of origins, all sexual orientations, all genders, and all abilities, that we stand with you as a community And that is literally and metaphorically for you to know that just as you are safe here. One of my favorite Ernest Holmes quotes of all times is, "Spirit has placed the stamp of individuality upon itself and called it you. You are that perfection and wholeness." And so we use our voices to affirm this by saying together, we welcome one and we welcome all. I invite you, wherever you may be today, to say that out loud. And even if there are those around you that hear it and they're like, what the hell are they talking about? Say it with me. We welcome one and we welcome all. Once again, supporting you all on the journey of finding personal self-empowerment through a spiritual awakening. We move into our morning ritual this morning, and I stopped the share because I want to try to get the music to work here as we continue on this journey. And there she is, the music, loud and proud. But the computer's working differently, and so I'm going to take this back down and bring this back up and move into our ritual. Our morning ritual is called Calling in the Light. Just taking that language alone, calling in the light. We're not inviting in that which hasn't been there before. We're inviting in a greater awareness of that which already and always has been. Light, yes, that which is ever present, illuminating our pathway. An internal and external expression and experience. But to take it deeper, I'd like for us to look at my acronym for light, which is living in God's healing truth. As we light the candle, metaphorically, we're going to walk through this ritual called Lighting the Flames of Faith, which provides us with the opportunity to remember that there are beautiful expressions of light, all sentient beings that come from the one great universal presence, which we call Spirit. And honoring that stamp of individuality and people's ways of being and living, let's move through this ritual, imagining that we're lighting the candle and doing so for the Tao. And in so doing, honoring the universal path of harmony and equilibrium, that which is known as the natural way. And we light it for the shamanic traditions, honoring the beliefs and practices of all indigenous peoples, the way of primal spirituality. And for Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, of action, and of devotion. As well as for Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by sacred law. And for all forms of Buddhism, honoring the Four Noble Truths and the path of compassion. As well as all forms of Christianity, honoring the Christ consciousness as the path of love. As well as all forms of Islam, honoring the path of submission to the will of God as the highest calling. And for the universalistic religion of Baha'i, honoring the path of unity and of peace. And for all forms of New Thought. It's what we practice here at CSL-LA and other centers for spiritual living. Honoring the metaphysical path of mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principles. We bring all of that together and declare this imaginary candle, the healing candle. And to take a moment and think of anyone, which I would like for you to have include yourself, to place into the light of the healing flame, so that all may experience the eternal and everlasting love of the divine. Then I invite you to hear that term again and disperse any judgment you may have of it, and just take it in energetically, so that all may experience the eternal and everlasting love of the divine. and then peer at the flower on the screen. Just as we were talking earlier about the garden, you are the garden and the transformative energy of the flower. And let's take in all the people that we put into the light and all of the different faiths and look at them as this flower as we hear this protection prayer. The light of God surrounds me. The love of God enfolds me. The power of God protects me. And the presence of God watches over me. The mind of God guides me as the laws of God, the life of God flows through me. The laws of God direct me as the power of God abides within me. The joy of God uplifts me and the strength of God renews me. The beauty of God inspires me, for wherever I am, God is. Amy's on the screen and she's going to take us through the song or the chant, Holy Light. And so I invite you to take it in and let her guide us to the conclusion of this ritual.
With God. Join me singing. I am holy light. I am holy light. I am holy light. I am one with God. One more time. I am holy light. I am holy light. I am holy light. I am one with God. 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 I am one. I am one with God.
And so true, you are. You are. Amy Steinberg, happy 5th of July.
Happy 5th. I had a very American 4th of July. We watched a movie.
that conjures up so many visuals.
I know. It was very
like you with a vegan hot dog.
We sort of protested with a movie and we didn't watch fireworks. But I also have a year-old puppy who was very scared. So we opted to stay in. How about you? Did you see fireworks?
I did. I went to I had a friend in from out of town, a very dear friend. She's been here all week. She just left this morning. And we've had a fabulous week, as you can tell, getting lots of sunshine.
Yes, you look fabulous.
And then another very good mutual friend of mine who lives in a high rise here in West Hollywood on the 27th floor, hosts a 4th of July party every year. And I went, and my friend and I went, and it was lovely. It's also his dog, which is one of Sweeney's very dear friends. His birthday is the 4th of July, and Shorty turned 15 last night. So yeah, so it's always Shorty's birthday and America's birthday, and so it was just fun. A lovely fun evening. And I just happened to have gotten myself positioned out on the balcony in a very comfy, glamorous bar stool with a fabulous cocktail as it all kind of kicked off, and I had this panoramic view from downtown LA all the way out to the ocean of just this wall of fireworks, and just it was
Wow.
monumental, and beautiful, and
Sounds divine.
um, yeah, and I'm very blessed that my beloved four-legged spiritual offspring, Sweeney, they don't affect her at all. I mean,
That's
she
good.
couldn't be less bothered.
Well, I think that when they're, as they grow up, they learn that this was my puppy's first
Yeah,
time. And he was just like, what is going on? Little Oliver.
yeah, little
I think
Oliver.
he'll,
He's adorable.
even as the night went on, he calmed down.
Good, good.
They're very
Well,
smart.
sometimes age changes. Sadie hated it. She would crawl. She put her head under a pillow. So, and I really sitting there last night watching all of that, which was spectacular and beautiful. It two pieces. One is I thought of all of the critters, down below, and human critters as well. That it just really messes with them.
Yeah.
But also, I had read an article yesterday about the concept of fireworks and what an antiquated experience they are. They're from so long ago, and it's really all about exploding gunpowder. And then the remnants, the debris field that's left, dropping down to Mother Earth, and how we as a society, certainly in the modern world, try to be so conscientious of what we ingest in our system. But yet we seem to be okay with hanging on to that. And I kept thinking, like, where can we have as a community, and while also watching these incredible drone
Yes. That's sort of
experiences out
maybe
over the
the
ocean for
evolution of
FIFA in
that,
Santa
right?
Monica. They were incredible. What at what point will we'll go just to the drone piece, right? So it's just it's like,
Yes.
hey, can we have a new thought around this? So.
It's kind of cool that there is the drone thing happening. It is sort of the
Yeah, I
evolution
just
of
wish
the
we could let
firework in
go
real
of the
time.
other piece, the blowing up
Well, we focus
gunpowder in the
upon the
sky.
drones and then the
Yeah.
fireworks disappear.
So, but that
That's
leads
how it
me
works.
perfect directly to we're going to play today, as we talked about. I'm so excited about you and I playing on with the words and quotes, and then when you feel compelled to sing, you can do that, and just let's all honor that and enjoy the celebration that we're continuing on for this
It's like summer
weekend
break.
of freedom. And the theme that we've kicked off this month is freedom to ellipses or freedom from question mark question mark. So at this very moment in your life, Amy, what does freedom mean to you?
It means freedom to be authentic, to be expressed, and freedom from fear. Freedom from it's both. I like the idea of both. Freedom to live as an artist. For me personally, freedom to be in a relationship with a woman, to be in an openly gay relationship in the South, which is still it. I mean, even Asheville, which is, the most forward thinking progressive area, you're still gonna, you go 5 miles out into the country and my partner doesn't want to hold my hand in public because it's scary. So freedom to just be myself and to be completely expressed. What about you, Dr. Keith? What does
Well, for me,
freedom mean to you?
it's freedom on several levels, right? So the initial is, well, yes, it's the freedom to be authentic and to be who I am, right? So it's that from an expressive perspective on a day-to-day basis, and then there's also the freedom, which I think comes sort of with age. If not that this has ever been an issue for me, but to like not really give a big F, like just kind of I'm gonna
Yeah.
do and be me, right? And but not doing that, not trying to prove anything, just doing it because that feels right, and it's the rhythm, right, of that authenticity. But then to take it deeper, I also feel, and maybe this is based on geography or not, but I also feel very free to live that authentic life as a gay man in the world today. And I've certainly been in other places in the world where that was illegal. I can remember times in my life when that was illegal, right? So that also feels good. And I'm very proud to be a citizen of this country, albeit currently what we're going through is unsettling at a baseline, right? So that's hard, and I definitely had moments of trying to process my feelings around that, as far as the hypocrisy that comes out of our current structure of government, in the birthday of the 250th year. So, but I'm also really happy from a freedom perspective to be at a state in my own personal evolution where I can be free to hold more than one thought at a time. Right? The quote from one of our new thought texts of the day that popped up here first that we'll play with says, "True freedom is being free from the search for freedom. It's the end of all restless and anxious desire. It's the end of confusion." What does that spark in you?
Let me tell you, I feel like I really appreciated where you started with the idea of the not giving the F's. And there's been now these studies recently on the human brain and how, especially with women, when they go through menopause, they sort of literally stop being able to care. Like the ability to care goes away. And so something about what you just read like rings true to that. Like this idea that like I don't have to seek an outside, and really also what I mean, this teaching is for sure puts an exclamation point on it, but it's an inside job, joy, peace, freedom. I mean, I love the idea of Viktor Frankl's Search for Meaning, that all that work where the freedom is in the inside. It's not something that is manifested out there. So it's not something I seek and find. It's something that I reveal and am. Is freedom itself inside.
And one of the things this quote means to me, and I read the quote earlier before I read it here because I prepared these, was I'll process this through the lens of my journey, right? In the sense of years ago as a the baby metaphysician, and on the baby awakening of being who I would take this quote in: "True freedom is being free from the search for freedom. It's the end of all restless and anxious desire. It's the end of confusion." And I would take that in thinking that means there would be a moment in my life where there would never, ever, ever be confusion or restless and anxious desire again. But I don't think that's what it really means. I mean, I do think it means that, but I think at a deeper level what it means, because we're contemplative beings, it's like a spiritual awakening of coming to a place in the moment, in your mind, where there is no more confusion. There is no restless and anxious desire. You're not searching to find that. It shows up in your field of awareness, right? Your conviction of who you are. And it's from there you engage in life again, right? It's going back into, it's replanting a seed or planting a new seed in the garden. But on the journey of that seed becoming a flower, it's going to encounter obstacles, right? Because that's the nature of life. But one is probably more apt and ready to deal with those obstacles because you've had that moment of finding the freedom, right? The sense of lack of confusion. So, but it doesn't mean confusion will never show up again. It just means that you're not broadly confused, if you will.
Or anxiety. Or, those things are going to show up, right? And it's like, how am I going to allow things to move past, and trust that they will pass? Because some of the stuff that, you're talking about with the country and everything, the unsettling and all of that, I mean, it can be anxiety inducing for sure. Right. And so it's like, what do I do with that? How do I find peace and freedom in that, in the space, how do I hold those two things together, that I could have a moment of fear or anxiety and also have the conviction to know that what I truly believe, which is that everything is unfolding for the highest and best, right? That is what I believe. At the root of my faith is that evolution is a positive thing.
Right.
That even though the shoot has to push through the dirt, that the bloom is coming.
Well, because there again, more than one thing can be true at a time, right? So, giving
Which I love
birth,
that.
yeah,
That's
giving
that's that's
birth is a
very
can
that's
be a
very
painful
new.
process, right?
It's even new thinking for new thought. Is that
Yeah,
whole for valued
yeah,
logic is what they call it, right? How
yeah,
the
yeah,
truth is there
yeah.
is no objective truth. Like there's just
And
perspective and
then
perception.
framing this in the context of the life experience of our government and our country, or the 250 years of signing the Declaration of Independence. And I'm certainly not a historian, but I've watched enough in the last few days, and I'm educated enough to know that we um, romanticize how this country came to be, right? And it doesn't mean it's not the greatest thing. It doesn't mean it's not a wonderful. It's not discounting all of what is and what has evolved over time, but it came through a revolution. It came by standing up and leaving what was. It came. There was a lot of darkness to get where we are today, and these truths to be self-evident. That is an ideological desire and standard, that may or may not be manifest, and it may be manifest in moments and not always. And so it certainly is disturbing to think that from a consciousness perspective, as a country, we've taken steps backwards. But sometimes that is part of the journey, right? Is 3 steps forward, 2 steps back, 2 steps
Definitely.
forward, 3 steps back, right? So
Definitely.
the objective, if you look at it like through the lens of evolution, is that you just want to end up in those moments of being, for lack of a better term, higher up the scale of consciousness than not.
Yeah.
The next quote that I have for us is from a great little book called Tiny Buddha. And I saw this and it made me think of you in our conversation earlier today. And I believe you exemplify this. Be the type of person that no matter where you go or where you are, you always add value to the lives of those
Oh.
around you.
Oh. Oh, Keith, my heart. No, I think that's wonderful. I think that's a fantastic way to approach walking into the grocery store. I mean, I'm one of those people that I do talk. Some people don't like it, but I do talk to strangers. I do bring sunshine with me everywhere, and because I do think that it is an incredibly divided time right now, and like I said, especially in the South, and so I actually have an art car. You've seen my art car, right? That I
Mm-hmm.
painted my car, and it was actually painted by
Yes,
people
because you
giving
raised money for
donations.
that.
Your
I'm a
Sadie's on there,
donor for
yeah.
your art card,
And
yes.
people gave donations to help me write my book, and so there's this car covered in art, and I drive it around Asheville, and it's crazy to see, people of I'm sure every political affiliation, every race, just bringing joy.
Yeah.
Bringing joy.
This quote, what it speaks to me of in this very moment is, it's little TB, Tiny Buddha, is not telling us to be the type of person that no matter where you go or where you are, you always add value to the lives of those around you because you're trying to control your environment. And I'm not saying that's what you're doing either. It's more about spreading joy, but it's also at a deeper level of understanding that we are energetic beings. We are vibratory beings, and
Oh
we live
yeah.
in a universe that is governed by that. And so that which we emit returns back to us, right? And
It's
there again,
pretty
it's not
wild.
about it coming back to us. It's understanding that it's always a flow of energy, right? So then if you use this premise or look at the map of consciousness, right? Where do you want to be providing constructive and productive energy, or do you want to live in restrictive and negative energy, right? Like that which is pulling back from you,
We
deconstructing.
all know. We all know the vibes. We all know the people that some people don't even have to say anything, and you can feel the vibe. I can anyway. I'm very empathic, so the vibes that emit from people are as strong as emit from everything. Everything
I
is
know there was this
vibrating.
at Granada Hills. I don't know if it was last Sunday or the Sunday before, or whenever I was there last. I There was a quote, and I'm going to paraphrase it. It was like, people will so easily buy into the reality of Wi-Fi, right? But forget that everything is energy. Like they don't want to believe that we emit a frequency,
Right.
but yet you'll
Right.
walk into and hook your phone up to something in a Starbucks, and anyway, that's just that
And
point
one
speaks for
human
itself.
being has enough power in it, some incredible amount of power that, like, I don't know what the energy is, but the energy source of one human being is the battery
Right.
life of a human is
Right.
amazing. The amount of energy we have. So yes, it does
Which
matter, and
takes
and,
us
and
to
it
the
is.
next. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
We
it
hope
takes
we
us
add
to the
value.
next quote, which is, the universe does this thing where it aligns you with people, things, and situations that match the energy you put out.
Well, that makes me happy when I look that I'm here with you.
Yeah. And I'll speak for us as practicing metaphysicians, conscious conscientious. We all want to believe that's true when we're intentionally propagating good, right? But we don't want to believe it's true when we've drawn in crappy things in our life, right? And so the key to that is, when situations show up that aren't reflecting joy, yes, kind of Pollyanna to, like, say, well, how can I find joy in this situation? But more importantly, ask yourself, what am I being in this situation? And what
Yeah.
can I change? Right?
Yeah.
That's the key. What can I change? Right? And so
And
that's where freedom comes back in, right? Because we are imbued with freedom. So we have the ability to make a choice and change our thinking to change our life.
I'm starting with the man in the mirror. Make a change. Like, that's what that makes me think of, is
Yeah.
it again, back to that inside. I know it's like a recovery phrase, but the inside job, that phrase of happiness, joy, peace, all of it is it's an inside job. Read that quote again, though.
Sure. The universe does this thing where it aligns you with people, things, and situations that match the energy you put out.
Right. So they say you don't get what you want, you get what you are.
Right.
You attract what you are. And also, there's a space in there for me for mystery, because sometimes I think I can attract something that might appear to be negative, or, but it's giving me some incredible gift, whether it's resilience or ability to dig deep or ability to grow, or, you know what I mean? I don't know.
Well,
Sometimes I feel like, because a problem I have sometimes with new thought is this whole, like, I've created this reality that is no good or whatever. There's a co-creative. I prefer the idea of a co-creative, that there's a power, that there's a presence that's greater than me, which, I struggle with that with my teacher, because there's this whole Rumi idea that you are the entire ocean in a drop. And I'm like, no, I'm not the entire ocean. I'm just a drop, but I'm only ocean.
Let's clarify. You are the entire ocean in a drop from a molecular spiritual DNA perspective, right? Just
Yeah, it
hear me
doesn't
out.
do anything
Just hear
for
me
me,
out.
though. It
Just hear
doesn't
me
do
out.
anything for me.
I know,
It
but
feels.
just hear me out. I said,
I'm
just
hearing
hear me
you.
out. Okay. The truth of that is a spiritual truth. But that doesn't mean then that's all that you are, right? And that doesn't mean that you can create a universe, or that you can create the oceans, right? It just means that within you is the same. That's the essence of one power.
But that's what I.
I just want you to let me finish. So that one power, right? Then how does the human individual as a spiritual being use that power? Unlike the energy that's within the ocean, we are mental beings. We don't know that is. But because we're mental beings, the way that we both process and experience and express that power is through our mind. even deeper is through our thoughts, our beliefs, our actions, our reactions, and our interactions with the very thing itself. And because we live in a universe that's governed by spiritual law, it responds to those things, right? So then the choice we have is how do we use those things? That's why I want to bring
Right,
it in.
but I'm still needing space for the mystery. In other words, for the power that is greater than me, which is there's really no space for that in the idea of oneness. Because if there's oneness, if there's only one power, which I love the idea. I mean, I'm a New Thought practitioner and physician and all of that, but I feel like it leaves me wanting. It's kind of like all the stuff that Melissa and Z are working on right now. Is this the loss of the I thou relationship in New Thought, the loss of I can pray from and to a greater power that knows that even though I'm in excruciating grief because I've lost my father, that I'm going to grow through this because there's something greater than me that is holding me.
So my take on that, I don't have that. I don't have that loss. I don't believe that personally that I'm missing that link. Because I believe that within the one power is multidimensionality. So often people want to think that one power means there's one dimension, but that's not the case, right? It's multidimensional. And we get to experience that multidimensionality, both how we're using it, how we're experiencing it, and to the degree, as Holmes says, we become awakened to it. So even, and I'm not saying he is the ultimate arbiter of this. I'm not. I'm just giving a reference point because it's been taught in many different ways, right? But even in spiritual mind treatment, when he says God is I am, right? Right there, he's breaking down those multiple dimensions of it. Of course, there's more than what we can process within the oneness, right? And that's both conceptually, and it's also true. It's still factual because the universe is forever expanding. It's scientifically proven the universe itself is expanding, right? While at the same time it's so funny because I watch Neil deGrasse Tyson all the time. The expansion of the universe is also happening through awareness and physical, while at the same time our experience of it is experiencing that which is dissolving and disintegrating.
That's right.
Right? So
there's two philosophies. There's I just read this fantastic book which book was it that I read that I've been really reading a lot of fiction, just really good fiction lately, which, by the way, have you read The Correspondent? I want to recommend it to anybody who's listening. It's fantastic. It's a beautiful,
but I did
beautiful,
just read
beautiful
the book Gunkel Abroad at the pool this week.
Oh, that sounds good.
It's fun.
But there's two ideas about reality, and of course in New Thought we believe in multidimensionality, and the past, the present, and future is all in this one moment now, and then there's the philosophy that I'm sort of why I say the pulpit is calling me away from it, is because I kind of believe that there's only one moment now. There's nothing else. Moment.
You froze there for a second. You froze there for a second. There's only one what?
There's only one moment, and it's now. Mm-hmm. And we can't go back and we can't go forward, and there's only this right here.
I agree with that.
So if that's the case, then we just have to live for that experience of life through us as us. I don't know how that relates.
So
there was a reason.
Going back to that quote of, what the energy matches what you put out, and you're talking about what we get.
Yes.
And I oftentimes think of my first teacher, who was a metaphysical ball buster, Kennedy Schultz. I mean, just
Yep. What's in your consciousness?
Yeah. But I will never, ever, and I've shared this many times, forget him on a Sunday morning saying, we as humans have it all wrong. We think life is all about what is it we're going to get, but it's not about what we're going to get. It's about what can we give. And if you think about it, all of you just came rolling in here after a Saturday night. And I'll bet most of you went out on a Saturday night thinking, oh, I hope I can get laid. But the truth is, if you would have had approached it with, I hope I can give laid, you would have had a different experience. And as
That's hysterical.
funny and uncouth and true as all that is, it does frame exactly the principles of this teaching, right? Like, because energetically, it responds to what you're putting out, pun intended. Yes.
Well, I think I'm going through a period in my spiritual journey, and I think it's possibly because I just finished advanced consciousness class, so I'm just wrapping up like the next level of the teaching and like the doctoral studies and all of this. I'm in this weird place because at the end of class, our teacher said, like, tell us in a nutshell, like where you started in this class and where you are now. And where I started in the class was, I want to get my doctorate, right? I want to get Dr. Amy in front of my name, right? And now by the end of the class, because the class was just a total, mind F. I'm just going to say mind F. By the end of it, I was like, all I want is to be peace. So all I want is to be, I don't want to get anything. I don't even care about the Dr. Amy anymore. I just want to be in a space of peace and understanding and compassion for every living being on this planet, because it is not easy work to be here. I really don't think it's easy for anyone to just exist. Maybe for like kids when they're really well taken care of, but as an adult, as a grown adult right now, it can be really difficult. So I think it can be joy
difficult. I think it can be difficult and it can be easy at the same time. So
well, it's so funny because look what I have on my
right.
That's like on my right in front of me as I'm saying all that. Like, I don't think it's hard. I think it can be easy. But
there again,
by the end of this, I think I'm in that phase. It's a phase.
My invitation for you, as it is for everyone, is to try not to look at life in such a binary phase, framework. Right? Life doesn't have to be hard or easy, right? Like there can be moments where it's challenging. There's moments when it's not. It's really all about going back to you're saying the now. It's about giving yourself the freedom, right, to honor the now as each now unfolds, right?
Right.
And to understand that there are, even within the now, it's multidimensional. Right? Like even within the now, it's multidimensional. Yes. The next quote that we have is from the great teacher Aristotle. And he says, be a free thinker and don't accept everything you hear as truth. Be critical and evaluate what you believe in. And I'm
really glad that you've used that quote, because I think sometimes in New Thought, that's gone. That becomes...
Well, I often say
it's almost
that
like
the
becomes
challenge
a gospel.
with people practicing New Thought is they refuse to have one.
Hey,
and
are you
didn't
doing
think I was a
stand-up,
comic.
Keith?
We've talked about comedy.
Are you doing stand-up?
But I've shared this many times, and I think it's pertinent in this moment, is in a moment of crisis in my life. I needed my teacher, Dr. Walker, and was having a hard time getting to him. And I was able to, and I will never, and this has been like a pivotal component, foundational component of my life. And he said to me, here's the deal. Make a decision around what you're confronting. Make a decision and let it unfold. And if the decision's good for you, stick with that decision. And if it's not, make a different decision. And that really does frame this concept, right? Going back to really freedom to or freedom from. Right?
Yes.
And sometimes both really matter.
I love this. I love the idea of taking a step towards something and saying, it reminds me of the Abraham Hicks stuff, this, not this, it, right. Not it, going through life, making choices, right? Which is, one of the primary my favorite thing about New Thought is that we have a choice. I get a choice in every moment on how I'm going to act, react, the steps I'm going to take, right? And I mean, love has got to be.
The key to choice is trying to, and I say trying loosely, but doing one's best to engage in the Gary Zukav quote around choice. And it's this: choice is the engine of evolution. If you choose consciously, you will evolve consciously. If you choose unconsciously, you will evolve unconsciously. And he goes on to say, conscious is far better than unconscious, comma, trust me, been there, done that, he goes. But then, here's the most critical piece of all of it. Choice is the second greatest gift we've been given, second only to the gift of life itself.
You memorized a lot. That's a long quote to memorize.
I've learned it many years
me...
ago, and it anchored in one day. I was doing some work. A group of us were doing a prison ministry for a while. We would take these labyrinths into these prisons, and we were in this prison, and it was just dark. I mean, everything was dark. It was just dark energy. And for that day, we were in a small little room, and this person came in the room. And it was bad energy, man. I did not feel good. And I looked at my friend who I was with, and I said to her, like, I don't, like, this is not vibing. I was like, this, I'm not vibing to this. Like, this is not good, and I don't feel safe. And I remember her saying to me, just relax, just chill out, just chill out. Just chill out. Like, we're going to get through this. So I was like, I don't know. And this one dude just covered in tats, like, short guy, dark. And we do the workshop, and we were going around sharing after the workshop, after the labyrinth, and something was stated, and I used that quote. And when I used the quote, I'm going to call him Dark Dude. Dark Dude turned and looked at me and said, "Gary Zukav, the seat of the soul." And I looked at him and I said to him, "How in the hell do you know that?"
I love that.
And he looked at me, he goes, "Gary Zukav, the seat of the soul." I'm like, "Yeah, how do you know that?" And he goes, "One day," and he shared what he had been doing. And he goes, "They stripped me naked and went to throw me in the hole. And right before you get thrown in the hole, there was a stack of books. And I just grabbed the first book I could, and it was The Seat of the Soul." And then he said, "And it changed my life."
Wow.
What that reminds me of is that in the multidimensionality of life, as one of my teachers, Fred Wilson, used to say, opportunity is everywhere. In our teaching, we would say that God is everywhere, right? The opportunity to connect to the wholeness and the oneness of life is always there. Why do I say it that way? Because Holmes says that healing is the act of revealing wholeness and oneness, and it can happen in the twinkling of an eye.
Just so quick.
Right? So I think for all
the
of us...
other thing, I want to just punctuate what you just said, that quote, with a Holmes quote that you probably know that I don't know word for word, that is about how conscious thought is much more powerful. What's that quote than
I don't know
unconscious?
that quote, but I can tell you why that is the case, because it's intentional.
I'm going to look it up.
Unconscious thought isn't intentional. So
there's a beautiful quote from him about that. I don't know. Anyway, what's our next quote?
That's it for quotes. You're going to sing us a song.
Okay. All right.
Well, here, no, we do have one last quote, and it was what I posted.
I've just really enjoyed talking. I haven't felt compelled to sing because I'm just fascinated. You're just such a great teacher, Dr. Keith. I've always loved learning from you. Every time I'm with you, I learn something.
Thank you. I love spending our time together. So our quote yesterday for our New Thought text for the day was this. It's a Maya Angelou quote. "The truth is, none of us can be free until everybody is free." And I think she's talking, yes, about physical freedom, but more importantly, I think she's talking about mental freedom.
I think that it's interesting because I think the inverse is also true. Yes. In other words, like when you hear somebody I think I heard Dr. Sue Rubin. Maybe it was with you. One day she was on here and some war had just broken out, and she spoke about how what she has done is look at herself and see, where is she at war? Where is she withholding? How is she attacking? And so none of us are free until all of us are free, and all of us aren't free until one of us is free. Like, as long as we are at war with ourselves, we will be at war with each other. So it's interesting. I'd never thought about that, because I love that quote from her, but I've also thought about it like from the inverse with New Thought.
So my invitation for all of us as we wrap this section up, and I'll invite you to share one as well if you have it, for everyone, is to give yourself permission to be free from the enslavement of old ideas about oneself and the energy of the divine, and to play with that to the best of your ability as frequently as possible.
Free yourself from mental slavery. None but ourselves can free our minds. I wish I had that. I don't have that song, but that's what came into my mind. Have no say for the atomic energy, 'cause none of them can stop other times. How long will they kill our prophets while we stand aside and look? I'll have to look that up for next time.
But that you are really exemplifying freedom right there by giving yourself the freedom to play in your art form the way that you do. Right? So,
yeah. You're getting good comments in the comment section.
Yes, from Jill in California to everyone. Thank you, Jill. Thanks for being here with us today.
Yeah.
So
Well,
here's what we're going to do, everybody. We're going to say thank you. We're not saying goodbye to Amy. We're just saying thank you to all of you for being here today and sharing this really fun. I love playing like this. And it reinforces the right, the fun that we can do this in this format, because we can't always, if we were in person all the time, you'd have to do that dealing. So it's yay to technology. And thank you to Amy, who's in Asheville, North Carolina. For those of you that are joining us from afar, and I affirm and know for you that your week has been celebratory and reflective and inspirational, and the next week ahead will be the same. And so before we close out, a big thank you to Amy, a thank you to Travis for taking care of us technologically, and thank you to each one of you. A reminder of a couple of housekeeping things is our next in-person isn't the second Sunday, but for July and August will be the third Sunday. So make plans for that. We'll be back online next week, and our musical artist and maybe another conversationalist is the one and only Jamie Lula. I'm excited to have him with us. Yes.
Another Cancer.
Say that again.
I'm a Cancer and he's a Cancer. We're both Cancerians. It's our birthday month.
From an Aquarius, from a zodiological perspective, right? Not from
Are you Aquarian?
No, I'm a Capricorn, baby.
Oh, that's our marriage
Billy Ray
sign.
Valentine, Capricorn. But a reminder to all of you to please make sure you follow us on all the social media sites, to make plans to be part of our game night, which is, I believe, a week from Wednesday night. But all that's on our website. Our newsletter goes out tomorrow. We have our new thought text for the day each morning at 7:30, and the midweek morning meditation on Wednesday morning. So please do that. I also invite you to go to our website or our app in the App Store and hit the donate button. We survive and thrive on donations and are inviting them in. And so know that as you give, so shall you receive. I'm not saying that punitively. I'm affirming the way that the universe works. And so know that that's the case. And happy 4th. If you're on Zoom, we'll stay afterwards for just a moment to say hello to each other. And I think we're going to close out with Let There Be Peace on Earth.
Oh,
unless there's another song you'd like to do.
I had Love Is My Decision.
All right, then we'll close out with Love Is My Decision. And so let's just know this before Amy takes us out, that we are the perfection and wholeness of the great I Am is providing us the opportunity to let it be action through us. And we hear this spiritual truth in a new way today, that we are the perfection and the wholeness and the completeness of that which it is. That the joy of being contemplative, free thinkers is present within us, and we let that be the foundation from where we grow. We grow and we glow and we flow and we know as spirit itself. And so, however the journey shows up, we're like, yeah, it's here right now. And then we think anew and then think anew and think anew, knowing that the law of life responds to us as it always is. We're about to sing Love is My Decision. Holmes tells us that love is the self-givingness of spirit whose desire is to create more of itself. And the only way it can do that is out of itself, which is you and me. And so, Amy, take us away.
That was so beautiful. Love is my decision. You know this one. It's up to me to give of my heart. Love is my decision, and no one else can tell me to start. And once I decide to change my mind, God will show me how. Love is my decision. It's my decision right here and now. It's my decision right here